My name is Jackson, and for my capstone project, I decided to do tennis. And my main and quick question is, what are the steps you need to take to become a professional tennis player? Before we even get started into the best tactics on the tennis court, I need to tell you about the game of tennis first. How you win it, throughout a match, players need to win individual games. And how to win a game is you win 4 points and win by 2. And how to win a set is you win 6 games and win by 2. To win a match, you have to win 3 sets and win by 2. That is involved for men's tennis usually. Now let's talk about the actual tennis court. You serve from the baseline, and then you have to try to hit it to the opposite service line. You have 2 chances. Usually you try to control it more on your second chance. Then you play out the point. You have to hit it through the center mark, throughout here, and the sidelines. If you hit it out through any of those, it's the other player's point. Now into tennis tactics. The best tactics that you take from a tennis coach or a tennis tactics book would be the mix-it-up shots that you hit through a tennis match. Number one would be defensive to keep the ball in play. Another one would be attacking, which you would hit around this and you would finish in this zone. And you would go for winners. Neutral shots are when you hit floating slices and lobs and topspin. A lob is when you push someone deep into the court and it goes high and the player has no ability to hit the ball back. And topspin is where it helps you control the ball more when you hit the ball harder. And the last tactic I want to talk about is being an aggressive baseliner. That is when you set yourself up for big winners during points, usually during a match. This is a quote that I thought went under having a good mental game, which went into tactics. Mental game is when you're stay calm, when you have like a good thing of staying calm during a match. Sportsmanship. It's important to show good sportsmanship on and off the tennis court. If you lose and there's nothing you can do, you should show to your opponent that you're okay with the loss, and it's up to you to show to other people that you're a nice and honest competitor. Some ways you can show sportsmanship is by playing fair and by the rules, and you should always treat your opponent with respect, even if you're a lot better than them. For instance, players have also been showing good sportsmanship by clapping on their racket when players have good shots. And these 2 guys, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, are they have one of the most best sportsmanship in the world, because after match they say something really nice to their opponent, which is shown to have really good sportsmanship. Examples of bad sportsmanship is by yelling at the judges and slamming your racket. You can get fined for that. Wait. This is John McEnroe, who's like used to be #1 in the world, but he had terrible sportsmanship. How to stay healthy when you start playing competitive tennis. A tennis workout plan is the difference between a victory and a loss. It hires the percentage of the balls that go in, and it makes you have more confidence in hitting the ball harder. It includes a lot of stretching, and other sport techniques help you with the stretching. For the eating side of it, you may think just eating fruits, vegetables, and water and milk, but there's things that help you get into better shape for your sore muscles, like having red meats and fish, and other things like that. The tennis workout. There are many important steps to take to train as a tennis player. The #1 way to take at first is to get in shape, because how else would you be able to run on the tennis court? There's things like a cardio workout that you can also do, doing push-ups and planks. A plank is where you hold a push-up position for a while. Running short distance would be better than long distance because you can sprint in short distance, and on the tennis court you need to sprint. But long distance is about setting a pace, and you're not running as fast. But long distance does help you get into shape, get into shape and lose weight. The other side of it is to practice. The levels to rise to the top. In junior tennis tournaments, the main association is called UST. It stands for United States Tennis Association. It's what gets you higher and higher levels. So, say if you live in the East Coast and you were top at the East Coast, then you would move. Then you can have an opportunity to get to national tournaments, and it all depends if you were like nationally ranked or if you played tournaments from around the world. But I guess you can say that if you played higher tournaments, like you played from people from all around the world, you would get a higher college recruit for like a better tennis college, and hopefully after that you become a pro tennis player. For more information, check out my blog. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.